All right, all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Double honor to the apostles and the elders. And salutations to you brothers teaching in truth and in sincerity.
All right, this is from beforeitsnews.com, and the title says, Brewing collapse of the Western monetary system. German government warns of an upcoming catastrophe, tags Russia as an enemy nation. And it says, Germany has just warned its citizens of an upcoming catastrophe and urged them to stockpile food, water, and money for at least 10 days to be anonymous and independent until the government has caught up putting the necessary public safety systems in place. In the case of a catastrophe, there was no mention on the type of disaster awaiting them. It says a war, an economic or monetary collapse, or both. The warning was later downplayed as part of a routine exercise in Germany's new defense strategy. On a related note, against many members of parliament and several ministers, the German army has declared Russia as an enemy nation. This is asking to a declaration of war. The head of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Russian State Duma, Alexei Pushkov, has posted a Twitter message saying, the decision of the German government declaring Russia to be an enemy shows Merkel's subservience to the Obama administration. The idea of the German warning is to scare people. People who are afraid can be easily manipulated. While buying supermarket shelves empty, they will ask for more police and military protection. That's precisely what Washington and the EU want, a militarization of Europe. Germany, being Obama's chief vassal, is the mouthpiece for the rest of Europe. At the same time, the scare tactic is an indirect warning of a threat of aggression from Russia. The past weeks of Western lie propaganda have shown Russia's protection of Crimea with heavy maneuvers in the Black Sea, depicted them as a preparation of war towards the West. Never mind that Ukraine's self-styled Lord Poroshenko has threatened to take Crimea back, amassing troops and tanks at the border of this historic and strategic Russian peninsula. Jump down. And it says President Erdogan's new alliance with Russia has recently re-established relation with his old friend Bashar al-Assad. Turkey's supposed closing of her borders to Islamic State at the request of Russia, plus Iran putting her Hamadan base at Russia's disposal, making Russia, Iran, Syria, Hezbollah, and perhaps Turkey the new axis of stability and maybe peace in the Middle East, is not boding well for the West. So basically all those countries right there are trying to basically collaborate and come against the American system. And it says the area contains an enormous wealth of hydrocarbons and other natural resources, and the new axis threatens to block the Zionist expansion towards a greater Israel that will cover about a third of the current area called Middle East, including all of Palestine, Jordan, Syria, parts of Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. This for achieving world hegemony, full spectrum dominance, the overall objective of the ever ongoing plan for a new American century, which is called a PNAC, is what Washington is fighting for. No small matter and not easy to let go.
You got scripture?
Yeah. This is Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
All right, the devices of the crafty, what's that? Dealing with the elite, man. And then that enterprise is going into this new world order, man, because what they want to do, they want to heap up all these nations to themselves so they can control everything, man. They want the whole world, because basically it's about getting, attaining that birthright.
It's verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the fraud is carried headlong.
Right, so basically, man, everything the elite, they think how they're going to obtain the society, man, and the entire world, Yahweh Hashem Al-Shah got them in a trick bag, man. All right, I got it. This is Joel 2:20. But I will remove far off from the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate.
Right, and the northern army is NATO, man. The northern,
what it is, the
That's
northern.
the United States.
The Northern Army basically is you know, it's the NATO period, because they the Northern Alliance, what it is, the Northern Alliance Treaty Organization, Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is headed by the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Apostle Tar broke that down. The Northern Army is actually United States. Yeah. All right, and we'll drive him into a land barren. That land barren is the Middle East, and desolate, with his face toward the East Sea, and the East Sea is the Euphrates, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, the Red Sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things, man. You know, sooner or later, man, everything is gonna manifest, and we're gonna be in World War III, man. Go ahead.
And this says right here, it said, could a fabricated incident like a false flag event in the Middle East trigger a Russia-U.S. NATO confrontation? For example, Syrian government warplanes a few days ago were bombing for the first time in the 5-year Syrian civil war Hasaka, a stronghold of the Kurdish YPG, which is the People's Protection Units, basically a group of mercenaries supported and funded by the U.S. and NATO. The leader of YPG is allegedly affiliated with Mossad. Syria's attack was in response to the YPG's killing of civilians and Syrian army soldiers. Was this Syrian attack provoked by YPG? Syria has repeatedly said that any foreign and uninvited foreign intervention on our territory would not be tolerated, and immediately fought back. The U.S. instantly sent a warning to Syria that the U.S. NATO warplanes may retaliate against President Assad's forces, which in turn are backed by Russia. Could that be an orchestrated reason for an imminent U.S.-Russia clash? Such a confrontation would have ramifications way beyond the Middle East and could escalate to World War III. It is hard to believe that Washington will risk a war with Russia, being well aware of Russia's superiority in the air, as well as on and under the sea with latest generation technology and nuclear warheads. But the exceptional nation on a declining course knows no scruples pulling the entire humanity into her self-made abyss. Another scenario of a world-shaking catastrophe may be financial. Lord Jacob Rothschild of the ultra-rich Rothschild family recently proclaimed that the Western central bankers are conducting the greatest experiment in monetary policy history and consequences impossible to predict. He added that the world is in uncharted waters. Although he doesn't precisely explain what he means, he refers to unattended low interest rates with 30% of global government debt and negative yields. He also talks about the most unlimited quantitative easing of Western central banks. As a consequence, he says the Rothschilds are shifting their money gradually away from the dollar into gold and other, presumably Western-aligned currencies. He didn't specify. So, and this is another part where he says, why would a member of one of the most secretive and the globe's richest families, the Rothschilds, come out in the open telling the world that he is doing with his investments? Is there a purpose behind it? Almost for sure. But how does it fit into what the FED, ECB, Wall Street may have concocted to happen next? Is it a hint that the gold standard in one form or another may return? After all, maybe envisioning such as an event, Russia and China in the past 20 to 25 years since the collapse of the Berlin Wall have filled their coffers with gold. It says Russia is the world's largest producer of gold. The U.S. too has been amassing gold. Nobody knows how much exactly Russia, China, and U.S. have accumulated. And, I got a precept with that. Let's go into Joel, 3rd chapter. And it says, Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong.
And this is what we're heading into, man, World War III, man. And how the weak saying they're strong, because now the weaker countries have this balancing power, such as a nuclear missile, man, to actually assist them in war, man. Because back decades ago, man, places like India and Iran, their nuclear power wasn't that strong, man.
Pakistan,
Turkey,
Yeah.
you know. Hey, Josh, you want to jump in? Jump in. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. The leader for Iran, when the U.S. called themselves going on there looking for missiles, and they had them hid, and the Iran leader, when the U.S. left, he was like, man, we got so many missiles, we don't even know where to hide them at no more. You know, so that's how equipped the rest of the country been getting themselves.
You got something?
Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. They're the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O
Right,
Lord.
the mighty ones is the angels beginning with Yahweh Shai, man, because you heathens have to be judged for all the wicked deeds you have did, man. You know, you have transgressed too. Why? Because you actually gave up your culture, your religion for that fornication of the United States, man. You drank out that golden cup, man.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen around about.
Right.
Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for that wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision.
And Lord willing, that day comes fast, man, so we can get the hell up out of here, man. That's all.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51, starting at verse 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord has devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Come, man, so it don't matter if Russia or the United States want to go to war with each other, man. The Lord devising all this, man.
That's right.
He putting them in a position to where they don't have no other choice but to go to war with each other, man. As far as their economic systems and everything, man. Because the whole plan of America was to starve, basically, when they put them sanctions on Russia, was to basically mess their economy up, man. But it didn't happen, man, because Russia just made, you know, they had already planned for it. Then they just made deals with other nations, man, you know, which kept their economy going, man. So now, he basically put the United States, man, which he basically put NATO in a situation to where they got to go all out, man, or else they gonna see their whole economy collapse, man, which is gonna happen, but they gonna go all out before they see it collapse, man, you know. Verse 13, O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
I got a precept for you, bro. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Come, man. So it basically represents all the nations that have flocked to America, man, to so-called give it a better life, man. You know, the Lord really just brought all of them over here basically for judgment, man. You know, and a lot of these nations, going back to the beginning of Jeremiah 51, they got sleeper cells and everything in America. They've been preparing ambushes, setting watches, you know, even when China actually, like China own most of the ports of the West Coast, man. And they like really all them people working on the ports of the West Coast. They like them can easily be China military soldiers just watching and peeping everything out, man. Which that's a smart move, man. You know.
And also add what you were saying. I remember we had talking about how China buying up a lot of the farm land over here in America. Cause a lot of land in China is barren, so China really gaining control of the food supply, man. And then if you control the food supply, you can starve the people out. It's like what they used to do in the old days, a siege. Yeah, it could be like a form of a siege, man. And everything playing out the way the Most High wanted to play out.
Right.
And you can, hey, just to add on, and you could tell that scripture, Revelation 17 and 15, and what the brother had brought out is American, man, because hence the term America is known as having a melting pot. What the assimilations of different nations, man.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna read Jeremiah 51 and 12 over again.
Okay.
Set up the standard of.
I'll read it for you. Hey, Jeremiah 51 and 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong.
Right, man. Hey, and that's what these nations been doing, man. You know, and it's all the Lord been putting in their mind to do this, man. Go ahead.
All right, set up the Salah, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen.
We part of that watchman, man.
Right.
You know, it all started with the prophets, man. You know, going back to that destroy and win in the beginning of this chapter, you look that word up in the Hebrew, it basically means a prophetic spirit or basically impelling prophets to utter warning, or basically to utter warning, man. You know.
Hey, you said we hold on. I got a precept for you. Just to go ahead. All right.
Just going back into the little article about how proud America is. This Jeremiah 50 and 29, because in the article it says that it is hard to believe that Washington will risk a war with Russia, being well aware of Russia's superiority in the air as well as on and under the sea with latest generation technology and nuclear warheads.
Right, because if I can say this, Russia got the fastest jets, and Russia got they submarines. They got like the most stealthiest submarines that the U.S. can't track, man. You know, so going right back into that's what that article talking about, man.
And also they got the they got the best missile defense too. You know, because you know it's one thing to send missiles, but they coming back. So Russia can defend itself where it can send off some more missiles. You know, I think I read an article one time where it said like Russia had 1,600 nuclear warheads, and America's defense system was only capable of stopping 8 of them.
It's not good.
Just going back to how proud they are. Jeremiah 50 and 29, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bear the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape.
Hey, I got a precept to match that. Hey, this is Revelations 17. Y'all should get right back to you. Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns, which is the EU, which thou sawest upon the beast, which is NATO, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked.
Right, man. So the 10 horns, like he was saying, that does represent NATO, which the whore is America, man. Which she riding the beast. You know, America basically control what NATO do, man.
Right.
You know, so they gonna hate the whore, man. Why? Because they basically been listening to the policies of America, man. Because with all these sanctions on Russia and all that, America the one come up with the policy, and they push it forth through the EU. Because a lot of them sanctions they put on Russia, it really affected like Germany, affected all their economies, man, because they had deals with Russia. And when they put sanctions on the country, that means you can't have no economic ties with them, man. So then that's like if I had like, okay, $1 billion a year deal with you, now if I'm allied with America and they put sanctions on you, that means that $1 billion deal a year go out the window, man, which that'll start affecting their economy, man. You know? You can say something?
And just like it said, will make the whore naked. That's uncovering all her deceitfulness, you know. I'm talking about America, what she been doing. Cause see, America put the front out there like it's beneficial to everybody, but really only benefit them. You know, and once all the nation realize like America the problem, then that's when, like the scripture brother saying, everybody who been the bow, you know, everybody who got nuclear missiles gonna aim at Babylon.
Right. That's a good point the brother making, because America way across the world, man. But all them EU nations, they right on the border with Russia, man. But America's pushing them to do all this shit, and they right in their backyard, man. They can where they can invade, not only send missiles, but they can actually like invade them countries, man, and take them over, man. So that's basically why they gonna turn on her and hate the whore, man.
Just a little more, and to back what he said, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Which is those nuclear missiles, man. That's how they gonna burn America with fire. You gonna finish that up?
Yeah, it's like while I'm making the point, we saying how it's hard to believe that Washington will risk a war with Russia, being well aware of Russia's superiority in the air as well as on and under the sea with latest generation technology and nuclear warheads. And this Jeremiah 50 and 29, it says, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bear the bow.
Right, and who calling them together, man? Yahweh Shai, man, you know, which he using the spirit of the prophets to push out his word, man. That's part of it, you know. It started with that. Go ahead.
It says camp against it round about.
So they basically camping against America round about right now, man. All the nations, man. You know, out in South American nations, they got deals with Russia. They've been buying weapons from Russia, man. Yeah. You know, go ahead.
And that's proven right there, cause it just said it's a new alliance now with Russia, Turkey, Syria, and Yeah, they basically coming together now. Russia, Iran, Syria, and
Right,
Turkey.
which that goes back to the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, man. You know, it always told you that Gomer, which is Turkey, was gonna be with Russia, man. So that's all we was waiting on for that little turning point to where Turkey was gonna basically ride with America, man.